We live in this world and think what we experience here with our sensory organs is a reality. But have you ever thought what actually the reality is? And does everyone has his own reality? According to recent researches, reality is simply an illusion. So it also means that your reality is different from my reality. To make it simple to understand, let's start the video with an interesting example. Have you ever seen a virtual reality movie or seen others watching it? While watching the VR movie, although you are aware that you are experiencing a virtual reality, but still your mind and body responds to it accordingly. On changing the movie, your reality changes. Here, some of you may argue, how does it prove that reality is an illusion as we are just watching a movie and reality is real world which is outside the virtual reality movie? But here is the trap. We think what we experience with our natural senses is the reality, and experience provided by wearable external sensors is an illusion. But now let's imagine what will happen if I embed these artificial sensors in you, inside your body permanently. How will you differentiate what you're seeing from what others are seeing? Who is seeing the actual reality? Now, suppose this experiment is done on a group of people at the time of their birth. In this case, there would be no way to tell them what is real or what is not. Actually, the term reality in itself is illusory. Because when we experience something with the external sensors attached, we call it illusion. But when these sensors are embedded in our body and become the integral part of the body itself, then we call it the reality. Did you get the point? Okay, let me explain it in other way now. We know there are many persons with physical or mental disability who see this world differently because of their impaired sensory organs, like colorblind persons. Colorblind people are unable to fully see red, green, or blue light. Isn't their reality different from our reality? Now, suppose all the humans become colorblind unknowingly, then we all will see the world in a different way. Now, who will convince us that our reality has been changed? At this point, how can we say that whatever we are experiencing is a different reality? Nowadays, it is possible to change the brain circuitry to make you see blue color as red color. Brain cells can be changed in such a way that you will see night during sunny day. The brain circuits can be changed in many different ways. So, what is the reality at the most basic level? Actually, our sensory organs collect the information from the outer world in the form of electrical signals. These electrical signals are carried to the brain. Now, the brain interprets this information and creates our own reality. This reality may be quite different for different persons, as the interpretation of the electrical signals depends on our mental level, past experiences, beliefs, pre assumptions, age, sex, cultural environment, and also on our present situation. You may be surprised to know that your red color may be different from my red color. But why does it happen? For this, you need to understand how we see colors. Actually, we see colors when the cone cells in the retina are stimulated by the visible spectrum of the light. So, the interpretation of these signals may be unique for everyone depending on our unique brains. Therefore, we see colors differently in our minds. Here, I want to mention a quote by the great physicist Albert Einstein. He said, reality is merely an illusion, although a very persistent one. What we have discussed till now is the reality from the human's perspective. But to what extent the reality can vary if we see it from the eyes of other creatures present on Earth? What only humans perceive cannot be considered as the reality. It would be foolish to think in this way. Do you know that we humans can only see in the visible range of the electromagnetic spectrum? frequencies which are lower than the visible range of frequencies like infrared, microwave, radio waves, and also the frequencies that are above the visible spectrum like ultraviolet, X ray, gamma ray are beyond our visual senses, that is, eyes. But our inability to see these lower and higher frequencies doesn't mean that they do not exist. All we need to do is just to change our natural visual sensors or take help of more advanced visual sensors to see lower and higher frequencies. Some creatures like snake can see in the infrared spectrum as their natural visual senses are capable of doing this. Same thing is true in case of human ears. We can hear frequencies in the range of 20 Hz to 20 kHz. Frequencies lower and higher than this range cannot be perceived by human ears. As this frequency range is for perfectly functioning ears, most of us even cannot hear all the frequencies present in this range. As we get older, we cannot hear higher frequencies. Interestingly, if an old person tries to hear higher frequencies in this audible range, he may feel perfect silence, but the same frequencies may be intolerable for a young person. So, here the reality is completely different based on our natural sensory organs and age. If we include other animals like bats in this competition, then we are nothing in comparison. Dolphins and bats can hear frequencies up to 100 kHz. All these examples and discussion prove that reality is not objective. It is actually subjective, as it is different for everyone. Not only this, a famous experiment in physics known as Young's double slit experiment shows that the reality depends on the observer. Consciousness of the observer can actually change the reality. This is called as the observer's paradox. In the Young's double slit experiment, it was observed that small particles like electrons, photons, or atoms behave like particles when an observer is present to watch their behavior. But in the absence of an observer, they show the properties of wave. Why these particles show the dual nature is still a mystery. But it's been demonstrated many times by many researchers that these particles behave differently based on the presence or absence of the observer. This experiment again shows that reality is not objective, it may vary just by observation. So, friends, I hope now you can realize how we all are experiencing different reality, and in true sense, reality is just an illusion of our minds. Reality is not something that is out there. It is created in our brains and with our consciousness. What do you think about reality? Do you still believe that reality is same for all? Please let others know your views about it in the comments. If you found the video interesting, then please give it a thumbs up and share it with others. And for more such videos, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Engineering Made Easy. Thank you for watching the video completely. See you in the next video. Bye bye.